Welcome to You Make the Difference. I'm Wanda Walker, and today I'm talking to Trevor McLemore, and he is a student at LaGrange College and has started an organization called Campus Circle. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Now, what year of college are you in, Trevor?
I'm a freshman in college. Like you said, I go to LaGrange College. I'm a biology and business major at the college with a minor, hopefully, in service.
Yes. And so what are you planning to do with your degree?
So I want to actually be a medical missionary dentist. So what I would do is I'd take my biology degree and hopefully get into dental school. And after dental school, use my business qualifications to open up my own practice and use that kind of as my cornerstone or my basis for my medical mission work.
Yes. So, and it would be to do dentistry in other countries, right?
Yes, ma'am. Any third world countries, specifically Africa. I went on a mission trip to Africa about a year and a half ago with a local eye doctor from Columbus, Georgia. And what we did was we worked with people all over the country of Zimbabwe there, and we helped them with different eye clinics there and just got glasses and things like that. And the impact was very exciting for me. So,
how did you get interested in dentistry?
Initially, I'd never really thought of it, but over the years, I kind of just developed this idea of dentistry because I've had a lot of problems with my teeth. I've been in and out of the orthodontist and the dentist more times than I can count or anybody else. My record is longer than most for sure. But when I kind of sat down and thought about it, my uncle mentioned it to me, and it kind of just took everything that I wanted to do and brought it all together.
Yes, and I think sometimes that does happen when people have maybe like a mother or a father that have suffered from a certain disease and they want to help, they'll become a doctor.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think that's pretty common that happens.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So where did the idea come for starting Campus Circle? But first of all, tell me what it is.
All right, so Campus Circle, what we do is we take people who have special needs that have just graduated out of high school, or anybody who has graduated out of high school, and we bring them on the college campus at LaGrange College, and we have a team of people, about 50 students total, that will come together and help out, and we'll just do different events and things like that with them and just kind of have like a fun environment for them to experience and enjoy.
Yes. So how did that idea come about?
So essentially, I was a part of an organization in Columbus, Georgia called Junior Teen Council, and what we would do is we would bring special needs people in from all over Columbus, Georgia, no matter what the age. And what we would do is we'd have different tennis clinics for them. And then every year we would host a Special Olympics at Cooper Creek Tennis Facility, where we would bring all special needs kids from all the high schools and middle schools from across the city and bring them in and just have like a fun day where we played doubles and had different clinics for them to practice and play. And then we'd always hand out medals and have a big pizza party at the end of it. So that was kind of where I got my inspiration, was from that, and I just kind of went from there.
Yes, and I know Gavin Battle helps you.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about Gavin and his situation.
So Gavin has a little brother named Sam, and he's got a few complications mentally and cognitively. He's got cerebral palsy, and that kind of has affected Gavin a great deal. So when I was kind of initially starting this organization, I knew all that Gavin had gone through, and I wanted to bring him on because I knew that he had a lot of experience with this kind of field, I guess.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring him on so he could help me in any way that he could.
Yes, and so you connected with Our Circle.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
me about Our Circle.
So Our Circle was an organization that essentially does the same thing as what Campus Circle does, but it was run by the parents of the kids. And what the parents wanted to do was they wanted to kind of branch off, so they were contacting the college, and it just so happened at the same time I was talking to somebody at the college about potentially starting my own organization, and our paths crossed, and they set me up with Miss Wilder, and I just kind of went from there.
Yes, and I've had some experience with our circle because I'm part of the Homeless Coalition, and when Action Ministries came in to help us try and house 25 homeless people, they did a drive for us to gather supplies in the community.
Yes, ma'am.
And then also at the warming center, last year and this year, they decorated a tree at the warming center. And it's one of the local nurseries decorated or donated the tree, but they decorate it beautifully.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you go into the warming center, it has that Christmas feel and homey feel, which
Yes,
we
ma'am.
really appreciate.
I know, I think Gavin was actually part of that this year. He went and helped out with the
Oh, we did?
group, and they ended up decorating the tree again this year. And then that was actually the first place that I met Miss Wilder, was at the donation
Drive?
drive.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Thomas and Heather and just a bunch of the other kids that I work with now.
Yes, they're great, aren't they?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and Thomas does a lot of promotion work for the nursery that gave us the tree, and they said they sell more flowers and things because Thomas is on the internet telling about them.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, he's a big asset for them. So what does your organization primarily focus on?
So our main focus is honestly just having fun. Anything that we can do to put a smile on these kids' faces. Honestly, this is going to sound cliche, but they affect our lives more than we could ever dream of affecting theirs.
Yes.
I see people just lighting up anytime they walk in a room, and we are always so excited to have any kind of event with them.
Yes, and so about how many people belong to our circle? Do you know that?
I believe it's anywhere between 10 to 15 right now for our
Yes.
circle, and we brought a majority of them into Campus Circle, and at this point we're really just kind of trying to expand and bring anybody that we can find. If they want to be a part of our organization, they're more than welcome.
Okay, so they have membership in the Campus Circle.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's great. Okay, how is this beneficial to the people that you are working with?
So again, it's mainly a cognitive standpoint. What it does is bring them in. Like I said, our main focus is to have fun, but it's got a much deeper meaning than that as well, because what it does is it helps to prevent isolationism. And a lot of times when people with special needs graduate from high school, they don't really have anywhere to go, especially if they can't get a job because they can't drive. And what we do by bringing them on campus and just having fun with them just takes them away from sitting at home and I guess watching TV or anything that you would do just at home alone, essentially. And what that does is that boosts their cognitive and social attributes, because they are interacting with other college kids that are their age as well, and it kind of helps to boost not only their cognitive but their social.
And so the things you do for fun are what?
We'll take them to different athletic events. We'll have socials for them. Our very first event was actually about a month ago, or 2 months ago, and what we would do is we brought them into what's called the Boopy. It's kind of a fun area where they have pool and ping pong tables set up. What we did was we played a movie. We had a coloring station where we just had poster boards that my members decorated for them to color on, and just kind of that way they could talk and meet everybody. We played pool, ping pong, anything that was down there. We took full advantage of, and we just had a lot of fun with them.
That's great. Okay. Will the people with special needs be able to interact with the athletes as well as people that are part of the organization?
Yes, ma'am. So during the athletic events, I'll definitely be stressing the tennis players, because I am a tennis player at LaGrange College, to kind of have fun and interact with the kids that are part of my organization, because I mean, that's kind of the backbone of the whole idea, is just, again, having fun. So if I can get the athletes involved, that'll just kind of brighten their days even more. What I really want to do is I want to get them to help with the chants, especially at the beginning of the matches or anything like that. Just we'll all get in a circle, and I'll bring some of the kids over, and we'll all just kind of get in a circle and do the LaGrange College chant that we do before our matches. And I feel like that'll be an exciting, fun way to kind of boost the morale and get the energy going before the match.
Yeah, and you're going to want to win.
Oh, yes, ma'am, and I
Yeah.
think they'll be there to help us do so.
I think so too. Now, are there people supporting your organization already?
Yes, ma'am. We have a few sponsors in the community. Securus is one of the big sponsors that we had. They just did a turkey bowl actually, I think on the college campus, and what they did was they just had like a fun little flag football kind of event, and they sponsored our organization by giving us half of the donation that they, half the profits that they made, and then they gave the other half to the recreational center in town. And then we also got a sponsorship from Charlie Joseph's.
Oh, good.
They helped us out a lot for sure as well, and that's pretty much what we've gotten so far, yes ma'am, and then just a few other community sponsors.
Yes, and hopefully we'll get some more, right?
Yes ma'am, hopefully.
How do you plan to fund all of these events? I know you've got those sponsors. Are there other ways that you're going to try?
So we've already started doing fundraisers, like for example, we did t-shirts, and we just charged $10 a t-shirt to raise money. The good thing about this organization is that since it will be on campus, the events aren't going to cost too much because we don't necessarily have to rent out places. But what we really want to do is at the end of this have a bigger event to where we can kind of do even a bigger fundraiser altogether for the organizations within the community as well as our organization.
Yes. Okay. Do you have prior experience with people who have special needs? You already told me you did.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
me about some of those experiences and what it meant to you.
So I have a cousin, his name's Timothy. He has special needs. I'm actually not quite sure exactly the disability that he has, but I've just noticed throughout the years, anytime that I see him, I get really happy and excited when I see him because he's always got a smile on his face and he's exuberant and excited to see me as well. So that's one thing, is just knowing that these kids can have a bigger impact on us than we can have on them because they're always excited, they're always happy no matter what's happening. And then again with the organization that I worked with in Columbus, pretty much the same thing. Anytime that we go out there with them, they're super excited, and I just see that they want to hang out with us because, I mean, they want, like anybody, you want to hang out with people that are kind of your age and just are there to have fun and enjoy what they're doing. So that's the main focus and main goal, is just to have fun, get out there, have different social events, get involved with different organizations on campus as well, like the fraternity houses and sororities. We've already been in contact with them about potentially holding events at their houses and socials, and kind of like have a different like party aspect of it, I guess, so they can kind of enjoy that aspect as well.
Yes. So what has been the reception on campus? Like, how did you promote it when you were starting the organization?
Initially, it was word of mouth and just flyers. And what I did was I just told all of my friends. I had about a group of like 8 people that I kind of entrusted with this organization. And I told them, I was like, look, I need your help. If you can tell anybody about this, that'd be great. I gave them a few flyers apiece and told them to pass them out. And then it kind of just spread like wildfire. I mean, everybody on campus had heard about it. And at my first interest meeting, I had about 50 to 55 people that were there and interested. And then I had about 15 other people who were also interested on the side that could not make it to the meeting.
Yes.
So
that's so encouraging, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. I was very excited to see.
And it's encouraging me to know the quality of the people that are attending LaGrange College, that they want to serve and they want to interact and make this a better place.
Yes, ma'am. That's one of the reasons that I actually chose to come to LaGrange College, was because I saw the hearts of people that were there and how they were very willing to serve others and just excited about what their future holds and helping to get involved in any way that they can.
Yes. And so you're interested in the Servant Scholar program, right?
Yes, ma'am, potentially.
Tell me about that.
So the Servant Scholar program, I don't know too much about it, but I know that they help out with a certain organization at least, I think, twice a week. And I'm already actually involved with another organization called the Discovery Cottage. They work out of Lafayette Christian, and we work with the kids there a lot every week. Gavin and I will go on Tuesdays around lunchtime and help them with like their not necessarily cognitive, but like motion skills.
Yes.
So we'll help them with anything from jumping on a trampoline to skipping around just like on some pads to make sure that they're like going left foot with right hand and left hand with right foot. Just different things to help their brains work together to complement their abilities.
Yes. And so do you know Dale Jackson?
I know his son, Colin.
Yes.
and I work with him a lot at the Discovery Cottage. I've heard a lot about Mr. Jackson. I do need to definitely get in contact with him
Yes.
about some stuff. Yes, ma'am.
That's right. Are you working outside of the college?
Yes, ma'am. Especially with Discovery Cottage, and mainly, and then anything that I can do, like to help serve others. That's been my main focus since I was a kid. I've always loved the idea of helping others in any way that I can, and that's the main drive again behind wanting to be a medical missionary. Just anything I can do to help others, because I know that I will need help at some point in my life. So if I help others, hopefully one day they'll help me too.
Yes. And so you must have a family that's important. Is that right?
Yes,
Is there
ma'am.
somebody in your family that's influenced you in that way?
My grandmother has been a big influence. She helps with, I'm trying to think, people or women who are pregnant and they're considering having abortions.
Yes.
And she's plus 75 plus right now, so she obviously doesn't have to be working or doing anything, but she helps out once a week there and helps with that a lot. And she kind of is a big influence for me, just service-wise, because she gives out of her heart every step of the way and always takes God and Jesus with her.
Yes.
So I figured I'd do the same.
That's right. And there's a Christian business in your family. Tell us about that.
So that's Masterbuilt, and what they do is they work with smokers, grills, turkey fryers, anything that you would want around the holidays, I guess,
Yes.
to have a good meal. And let's just say I've been eating good for about 19 years now.
Yeah, that's great.
So I've had a lot of fun with that and had a lot of good food as well.
Okay, and was that your granddaddy?
Yes, ma'am. My pawpaw actually started that business. He started as a plant holder business and a baker's rack, and it kind of just formulated into that. And I remember one time, the reason it got its name was because they were at a very low place in the business, and he said, God, if you will get me through this, I'll name the company after you. And that's where they get Built by the Master or Masterbuilt.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
It is. Are you planning on expanding the group that you have now?
Yes, ma'am. Right now we have about 10 to 15 regular special needs kids who will attend the events. And honestly, it's open to anybody that wants to join. At this point, we just had to get our feet wet a little bit, I guess, with our circle transferring over and kind of see what it would be like. But we have a good basis. We have a lot of students from the campus that are involved, and at this point, we're looking to expand in any way that we can.
That's great. Okay, and so the overall goal for your organization is?
To have fun initially, but I guess the overall goal, we want to have a big fundraiser on campus. It'd be kind of like a field day, and what we would do is we get the different athletic associations involved, anywhere from football to tennis to softball, and we would allow the kids to decide what they wanted to do, and they could join the team, and they would have different things that they could do for that day or however long we wanted to do it. And then for the community involvement / fundraiser side of it, we do like a fun run, either a mile or a 5K or anything like that, where community partners could get involved and just kind of help us by raising money. We'll get t-shirts and things like that, and we'll just have a fun time to run and support this organization and, like I said, other organizations in the community.
Yes. And so the field day will serve as?
Essentially a fundraiser, but again, just something fun for the kids to do other than maybe a social event. They can really get involved with the athletes on campus, because I know it's one thing to watch athletes and watch a tennis match or watch a football game, but it's another thing to interact and experience it firsthand and be on the field or on the court and just having fun with all the people that are there. And I don't know, I just see a lot of people. I know I look up to a lot of athletes in college when I was a kid. So, I mean, if they can look up to us, I'm sure they'd have a lot of fun as well.
Yes, and I'm sure they will look up to y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and so I can tell right off that you're a leader.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, and I'm sure you've been a leader before you got to college, right?
Yes, ma'am. I was definitely an introvert in elementary school. I was a very shy kid, never really talked very much, just kind of did my work and went home. But I don't know what happened, but in middle school, all of a sudden I became a social butterfly, and I was always talking to everybody I could. and just trying to make friends anywhere I could. I've spoken at a lot of events and things like that, especially through the organization now. But my main calling has been a calling to ministry, like I said, with medical missions.
Yes.
And I got the opportunity to speak at my church not too long ago and just kind of gave my testimony in a sermon about some of the things that I've dealt with in my life, some of the things I've struggled with in my life, and how God truly was my backbone and my support through all of it.
Yes. Do you want to share some of that?
I can, yes, ma'am. So my dad has been through a lot in the past 4 or 5 years. He's been essentially on his deathbed twice now, and he's gone through emergency surgeries. His colon ended up rupturing, and he became septic. And that kind of was just like an eye-opening experience for me, that life is precious and life is short, so we need to live it up as long as we can and as graciously and mercifully as we can. So thankfully he ended up pulling through that, but he's been mainly my rock through my entire Christian journey and my entire
Yes.
Christian walk with God, because I've seen him change lives more than I could ever imagine to do so. And I've seen him use God as like just, again, his rock to get through anything or any adversity that he's been through.
Yes. And so how has he influenced other people's lives?
So he's just a strong Christian man, and a lot of people seeing him go through this and steadily just holding tight to God has
Yes.
been, and seeing him get through it and overcome it, he's been able to impact a lot of people just in that sense that sense.
And what church do you attend?
I go to River of Life Church of God. It's in Hamilton, Georgia, and Pastor Dan Rogers is there every Sunday, and he's always there to kind of help others as well. He's been a big supporter in my life as well. Whenever I went to Zimbabwe on that mission trip,
Yes.
I had a certain amount of money raised, and I had to get to, I think, $3,000. He said, "What are you at?" I said, $2,000. He said, "You're going to Africa."
Yay.
Just immediately was like, "I've got it."
That's great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what opportunities other than Campus Circle has LaGrange College opened up for you?
So again, the pre-dental aspect of it, they actually have a pre-dental program, so that was very appealing for me. The tennis side of things as well. I've played tennis since I was about 10 years old, and going into college, about a year before I went to college, I had no plan on playing college tennis. It just wasn't on my radar necessarily. Then I got an email from one of the coaches here at the college, and I thought, okay, I might as well check it out. So I came on the campus. I had no want or desire to play. I was just like, whatever, I'll see what it's like. If I like it, maybe I'll come here. But I was kind of going in with a closed mind that I was going to the University of Georgia because I wanted to go there since I was a kid. But when I got on campus, I kind of just fell in love with the atmosphere. The coaching staff at the college for tennis is also amazing. I wasn't expecting them to be as great and helpful as they are. The tennis coach, Matthew Donette, is actually my faculty advisor for the organization. So he works very closely with me. He's got a son, his name's Jake, who he's got special needs as well. So he also is like very close to this organization, and he helps out a lot with us in any way that he can.
Yes. And so it sounds to me like you would recommend LaGrange College for those who might be considering a college. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. It's a very welcoming and open environment where the people are honestly excited to be there. They're excited about going to classes. That's another thing that kind of drew me in was I went to all sorts of colleges to see and kind of tour, but no one ever really seemed like they were excited and happy to be there. But the moment I stepped on LaGrange, I felt like everybody there was excited and welcoming me and just wanted me to be a part of their lives.
That's wonderful. And then I know that the Chamber of Commerce has wanted to encourage the students to get involved in the city and, even on councils and leadership teams. And there's a real push for us to begin to interact with the college more and bring the college students into leadership positions in hopes that more of them would stay in LaGrange.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me your impression of LaGrange and what the students think of the city of LaGrange.
The city. So there's not too much to do in LaGrange necessarily for a college student, but other than that, the college itself is beautiful. The city is beautiful as well. We honestly are able to find plenty of things to do. There's not necessarily like a bowling alley or things like that, but they have a movie theater, and that's always a fun way to get involved and just kind of have fun if you want to go do something. On a leadership standpoint, that's another like main goal of my organization is to build leaders. Like I said, I have a group of about 8 people who help me almost day in and day out with this organization and anything that I need. And that's essentially just my backbone of support is those people. And what I hope to do is to kind of build leaders and then to also hopefully have them stay in LaGrange if they're helping out with this organization, and then find other ways to lead around the city as well.
Yes. And so I have heard that the teachers at LaGrange College are very interactive with the students. Have you found that to be true?
Yes, ma'am. I know all of my professors by name, and they know me by name. They're always very beneficial and very helpful, no matter what my problem is. They have office hours available, and if you take advantage of them, they're going to be there to help you no matter what the circumstance is.
Yes. And so you were telling me earlier that LaGrange College is hard there, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. It's a very rigorous school. I've definitely noticed a drastic change in kind of the high school over to college atmosphere. It's something that you don't necessarily expect or plan to experience, but definitely a more rigorous and challenging environment.
So how much time do you have to put into studying while you're there?
Into studying, I'll go to class until about 2 o'clock every day, and I'll find myself awake till about 11 o'clock every night. But that's with everything else going on.
Yes.
So studying alone, I've probably spent about 4 to 5 hours a day.
Yes.
Just making sure that I have all my assignments done and preparing for tests.
Yes. And I went to LaGrange College too, so I know what you're talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And so it does take some study and some work, but you're well prepared when you go into the business world, and I'm sure you'll be well prepared in dentistry and in mission work. And Lori Wilder from our circle is the one who recommended that I have you as a guest on the show, and she said that she's just been so encouraged by the quality of students. And she said, I think that you'll find this very encouraging when you talk to Trevor.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were going to talk to Gavin today too, but Gavin's little brother was sick, and he went to take him to the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are very impressed with the students at LaGrange College and very impressed with the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you.
Yes. We just want to thank you for watching You Make the Difference, and remember, what you do in our community truly matters. We'll see you next week.
It's a year of replevin'. Got a promise from heaven.